Hey everyone, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying that guy over there.
Range of motions.
Um, so every single week we start off by talking about our good, our bad, and the ugly from tonight's show. Uh, do you have an ugly that comes to mind?
Do I have an ugly that comes to mind?
Because if not, I have a very good joint one, and it's a nice way to start just by kind of honoring something.
hmm I don't really have a good ugly
So
today.
ugly would be the unfortunate news that we got that wrestling legend Terry Funk has passed away.
Mm, yeah.
Felt like
Yeah, rest in peace, Terry, man.
feel like that's a good thing. It's worth mentioning. I know a lot of his career. Well, when we grew up watching wrestling, he was already an old man wrestling and doing things that were crazy by even those standards back
Right.
then.
Right. Like he basically started hardcore.
Early
Or
memories
popularized it at least.
in the mainstream, definitely, but
hmm
like early memories, like one of my like thinking back to early days of wrestling was the dumpster match, him and Cactus Jack versus the New Age Outlaws when he was going as Chainsaw Charlie.
Oh yeah. 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 My memories of him are vague, but we know what he did for hardcore wrestling, and it's something that we're both still very much into today, as we've been to more GCW shows than any other promotion. So I don't know. Yeah, it's still a big part of what we see, and we thank you for what you did.
Your legacy and
Rest
your
in peace.
impact is going to continue on forever and ever.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
So now that the sad news is out of the way, do you know what your good is for tonight?
Absolutely. And just because I know what your good is, I am going to go with my other option, which was Santana and Ortiz are back.
I was gonna say if you took it, I'm like I still have another one.
Yeah, I got to see Santana and Ortiz, and that whole are they going to be friends? Can they coexist? It seems like they're going to be able to, because I don't think they'd be in a match together if they weren't able to coexist at least.
Which is crazy because the last time that they teamed together, the last time Santana wrestled in AEW, you
Yeah,
want to talk
there
about
was.
coexisting, the team that they're going alongside with, BCC, was that last match, which the blood and guts that we were there for.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think about that until commentary mentioned it. That yeah, their last time out there together was against the BCC, and now they're with the BCC this time.
My good, and we're definitely going to have to get into this in more detail in a few minutes and a whole different video and everything. But everything tonight, my good was related to Nick Wayne, like just with the match. And then it got better and better and better. So my good is everything to do with Nick Wayne tonight.
Everything to do with Nick Wayne.
They've
All
done
right.
more for building Nick Wayne tonight than they did for Brian Cage, AR Fox, um, Action Andretti. Like they did so much just to build him into somebody that's gonna matter down the line, and even right now, tonight.
Yeah, yeah, that was. I think that was my favorite match tonight.
I was surprised.
Yeah, Mox Phoenix was really good. I didn't think anything was going to be better than that, but I think I may have liked that one even a little more. So, yeah.
That being said, do you know what your bad is?
Yep. Um, as much as I love seeing Sky Blue get more booking on Dynamite and Ruby on Dynamite, I love both of them. You mentioned it earlier. It feels like this is a combination that we have seen a lot. And I'd like to see something else, or at the very least, maybe see Chris Statlander show up, seeing as how they kept mentioning how Ruby was interested in the the TBS title. Like, could have done something, something with it, but it's just another Sky Blue loss to the Outcasts.
And I told you, like, when we were watching the show, I was pretty sure I saw it on Twitter/X. That AEW promoting the match was actually using a picture of Ruby pinning Sky relatively recently, and she was like, "How rude!" Because yeah, you look back at the last like 3 months, and it's like 10 different matches for Sky Blue that involve somebody from the Outcasts.
Yeah, and she has lost to all of them. She is, she's been on the winning side of some tag matches, but
Like
it's basically the same. Yeah, that one match, I should say, but it's basically just been Sky Blue losing to the Outcasts for months, and I think you should give Sky Blue a win eventually if this is supposed to be some kind of rivalry thing.
So for my bad, it's nothing like overly huge or critical. I can't really, like, in a normal aspect, but the show was supposed to start off with the Elite versus Bullet Club Gold. That is a match that people want. So I guess in a story perspective, it makes sense that you don't necessarily give it to them yet and you try to build to something bigger.
Yeah.
But your kickoff the show is supposed to be a hot start and everything. But for that match to not actually be a match whatsoever, I mean, great. I got to see a bunch of people I like do stuff in the ring together, but it ended up just being a complete angle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the best that I can come up with that isn't continuing kind of like what you were saying, which is just the general complaints of AEW's women division. Again, kind of lacking tonight.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to pile on too much onto yours.
Yeah, but I mean, they're giving Ruby wins so that she's legitimate for All Out against Chris Statlander. I don't know why they don't just go ahead and book it, or did they tonight?
I don't remember seeing it.
I don't think they did, but just give us some stuff on that card, man.
Or, what? Let her have a squash match. Let her beat a random person, but just make sure you get other stuff for the women on the show alongside with it. Like, if the one women's match is a squash match, but you make up for it in terms of angles and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's about the amount of time and the effort. It's not necessarily are they consistently putting on great matches. It's the whole package.
Yeah. Oh man, I thought it was like, I guess, I mean, well, we'll get more into the match, but
So, question for you.
Answer for you.
What was the first thing you saw, since I know you're running a little bit behind?
I saw the Mox Phoenix match from the beginning.
All right.
Because that started after commercial.
So, I'll kind of hit two different parts here next. And the second half of it, still all related to each other, you were there for.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight's show started off, we were supposed to have the Elite versus Bullet Club Gold. Supposed to. Didn't actually happen. Some of it was actually pretty fun and character building, so that was kind of cool. The Elite are out first. They kick off the show. Great. Bullet Club Gold's on their way out. the bell never rings because the Elite actually charge up the ramp at them and they start brawling right away. Commentary keeps mentioning that the bell has never rung because they're still all kind of brawling. Juice is still in his desk and his sunglasses are on, everything. And he ends up having a chair in the ring. He hits a gut shot to Nick, and when he's doing the big wind up to, hit it over the back of Nick Jackson, Rick Knox. I just called him Rick Jackson, didn't I?
No, you said Rick Knox.
No, I meant Nick Jackson. I thought I said Rick.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that part.
But Rick grabs a chair from Juice. Juice turns around and just decks Rick Knox. And the commentary teams is like, what? Like, shocked.
Did he have on the Black Forces?
I was not noticing or paying attention. Yeah, in that case, it's just self-defense, right?
Yeah, because if he had on Black Forces, he was about to be robbed. It wasn't his fault.
So obviously, match isn't really happening. Ref is down. Jay White gets super involved, and he goes to attack. Then Kenny gets in the ring, and you start to see a tease for Kenny versus Jay. Kenny gets the upper hand. Jay White's able to get away because Colton's back in the ring. But then later, Kenny's able to line up Jay White for a V-trigger, and that's when Takeshita's out of nowhere, and Bullet Club Gold, and then they're all beating up everybody. Guess who's out for the save? FTR.
The Tur.
So that whole giant part of the group right there.
I guess, yeah, okay.
Later.
Yeah, that ties all in later. So, okay.
So they end up
all in.
Most of them roll to the back, and Kenny has the one-winged angel lined up on Konosuke, but is able to get out of it and escape. That's basically the end of that part. But later on, there is a sit-down interview. It's one of like the 10 times we see Renee tonight.
Yeah, Renee was the star of the show tonight.
Commentary team even made a comment about her like being the hardest looking person. That's with both FTR and the Bucks. In this part, I know you got to see.
Oh yeah, definitely was there for that.
I know you didn't seem to be a big fan of it as it happened.
I wasn't a huge fan. I don't know if Dax is doing it just because people want to make fun of it now, but the whole Southern Vin Diesel, I'll do this for my family, this is business thing. It kills me sometimes.
It's funny because
here we go.
He gets cut off a bit from it though, because Matt's like, we know, but how do you take care of that family? We are the company. We brought you in. We give you your paychecks and everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they definitely, I don't know how planned it was supposed to be, but they definitely leaned into it for it.
Yeah. I don't know that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that Dax just let himself get cooked, because Matt didn't even say anything spectacular, but he cooked him.
So I know, like, when you were saying that you were a huge fan, I was like, man, it felt weird because it wasn't the over-the-top wrestling promos that the business is 99% of the time, right?
Yeah, Dax always kind of fumbling over his words a little bit and stuff. It just, I don't know. It felt like he didn't know what to say.
The Bucks,
or maybe it was intended to be that way.
In some ways, it I don't know. It felt like actual people talking, like going back and forth. It wasn't overly produced, so I didn't mind it so much. But it did feel different. Bucks say that they're made men. It's actually FTR who needs this to cement their legacies.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, the whole thing about giving them a job, like for the pay for it, Bucks say FTR's legacy will be that the Bucks name drop them on BTE, and Dax says it's basically
I like that line. You'll just be a name drop on BTE. That's dope.
I mean, Dax's return wasn't even that bad because he just says the whole reason he did it was they're trying to make themselves relevant by attaching themselves to the FTR name.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
he flipped it right back.
when FTR was still in the other company and like the shots were kind of being fired back and forth and everything, it was a feud before they ever even got to step foot in the ring with each other.
See, I didn't know about all that too. That's what's up.
Yeah, so they were
adds layers.
So they were the Revival in WWE. Originally, FTR was from BTE saying, "Fuck the Revival."
Yeah. Once you told me the team name was the Revival, I was like, now I understand FTR.
Yeah. The name that they've said it means about 10 different things, but they also have said it means whatever they want it to mean at that given time.
I like it. Just keep changing it. It's constantly something different.
As long as you're not, making it overly redundant, we have seen promos of them in AEW where they'll say, like, on that night, FTR stands for this or whatever. As long as it's once in a while and it doesn't get old, that's good.
Yeah. So you're saying they can't Jericho it up?
What do you mean?
The way he gives himself 40,000 nicknames.
I mean,
because he named himself the Ocho because he has Ocho nicknames.
Ocho title reigns. But
no, it's actually Ocho nicknames.
Man, I think you're underestimating
more,
it there.
Never mind.
They got some nicknames. They got 7-star FTR. Yeah. Hot guys.
Aren't they like? They're 7-star. Aren't they like 10-star as well or something? They're another star. I was like, which one is it? How many stars are you guys? And what is the relevance of the stars?
I think it was title reigns.
So, okay, so they're just they're gonna continue being a different star FTR.
Yeah, I think since even the 7, I think this one, it's definitely not 7 anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna be 9-star FTR. 8. What does it be? 8 now? I don't know. Who knows?
Silly little quick one because there's no way to make a whole video out of this one. Going from the actual tag team champions, switch right on over to the trios champions, who showed up in a segment tonight, even though you never knew it was coming.
The trios champions. I mean, come on, we knew it was coming.
Nah, man, they're always on Collision, remember?
Hey, if Caster and Bones were showing up here today, and they didn't really have anything specifically happening.
Wait, were they planned for, like, on the card?
Yeah, I think they were supposed to talk today.
Oh, because the way that it was presented during the show, it seemed very unplanned, because you had the video from House of Black where they basically buried Billy's career by putting his boots in a compactor.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of a different show, because they have been on pretty much all the shows lately.
I just can't remember if they advertised it, because the way that they came out after the video, they were in their street clothes. There was no music. They just kind of came out all business.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of another week, but
yeah, they're always there.
If the Acclaimed are coming out, and it's not a tag team match, it's going to be about House of Black.
Boom.
Which I'm cool with that. I just, and I'm happy that this is going to be the last time.
Nah, man, they're going to win and get the trio titles. It's going to go on a whole run.
I mean, the last time of this match of House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. And it makes sense. Like, if you are going to have one final match, Wembley is a pretty good way to go out.
Yeah. I, yeah. I don't. I don't know if he goes out completely. I feel like I don't know. If I was Billy Gunn, I would want to put my sons over one last time before I'm out of there.
Honestly, I always felt like back when they did this huge Forever Girl, I'm like, you have to return to it someday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like before Billy's gone completely. Now he's not daddy ass anymore. Sorry, he's badass Billy Gunn again.
One half of the new age Outlaws.
Yeah.
Things that we remembered as a kid. The entire New Age Outlaws entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is funny. He said that fun loving daddy ass that we all love is gone. But I remember him being kind of funny as badass Billy Gunn. He just wasn't so flamboyant.
To be fair, about the only ever words we ever heard him say when he was in DX was, "If you're not down with that, I've got 2 words for you."
Yeah.
That was like the extent of his talking.
That's about all he did do, honestly, yeah. But I don't know.
With this is all worth mentioning because when the House of Black do come out to respond to the Acclaimed, um, you know, again, Acclaimed are not in good position, losing to the numbers advantage, and then we get to hear the Acclaimed's music hit because Daddy Ass is coming out.
Yeah. Acclaim knew what they were doing. They were like, look, we come out here, we get our asses beat again, and he can't leave us alone. He's coming back for us.
Because he does end up saying that when he comes out, like, they scatter, but when he has the conversation, he says things like, y'all attacked my kids, you hurt my children, you busted Max open. From, last week.
Yeah, those are my boys.
But when they took his boots and they did what they did, they pissed all over his Hall of Fame career, and he's done things in this business that will go down in history.
Mm-hmm. It's all or nothing at all in.
And that's where you got what we were talking about earlier, where he says, Daddy Ass isn't coming to Wembley.
Yeah, there's a badass coming all in.
I want to know, can we get the Mr. Ass Trunks back then for one night? Like, if you're going to go old school, bring them back.
Please. And is he allowed to be Mr. Ass?
What if they... they don't have to put it...
Daddy Ass, so he could be Mr. Ass.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And it's just a name, but also at the same time, even if you don't use the name, it's on his trunks. Can they really do anything about that?
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like that wouldn't be something that WWE would have trademarked. Mr. Ass.
And you just nailed it. Daddy Ass. Another thing for that would be grown adult, Mr. Ass. It's already there. I don't know how you could really go after them for making that transition if they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, cool. So do it. Wear the Mr. Ass trunks. Settled. At all in. Since you're all or nothing. Which kind of makes me think that the Acclaimed and Daddy Gunn are Daddy Billy Ass Gunn. Badass.
Mr. Bad Daddy Ass Billy Gunn.
That guy. It kind of makes me think that they're actually going to win now.
What if it's Mr. Bad Daddy Ass?
Mr. Badass Daddy.
There we go.
Yeah, Mr. Badass Daddy, Billy Gunn.
As long as they find a way to not turn it around and do a rematch if they do win them. Because like you said, I don't need to see the rematch again.
Yeah, we're done with this. After this. You can do it one more time, but we're done with it after that.
And then a little bit down the road for one of the next big pay-per-views like Double or Nothing, you can turn around and have your whole little story with a trio of the Guns and probably Juice.
Yeah, I feel like Jay White's going to be elevated up the card by that point.
Unless they do
So you'll have him
make Jay White a trios champion just to kind of fill time until you do put him in like a world title feud.
Maybe so. I don't know. But yeah, I still think you want to elevate him up the card sooner rather than later. But it's real crowded up there. Real crowded.
Yeah, and like we know how they are with their storytellings. They try to plan things out. Like they already probably know who the next champion is, and then probably the person that they want it to be after that. Like, would it make sense depending on how the roles play out with everything? Jay White could easily be the next championship feud. Adam Cole and him, you have that history that you can build on.
Yeah, you do.
MJF as a babyface, Jay White as a heel, it all makes sense.
The way Roddy was talking, I feel like I don't know, something crazy is gonna happen, and they're both gonna try and turn on each other.
Oh, I'm fully going with Adam Cole to the kingdom.
Adam Cole to the kingdom. That's what I kind of want.
I'm trying to just give it a break and then we can transition.
Oh, okay.
Because that part is going to be long because there's a lot of MJF and Adam Cole.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Actually, how do you want to do that? Because you're gonna, when we end that, it's gonna end based around the tag team match. But there were so many, they each had a video segment beforehand. Do both segments and the whole match all together?
Yeah. I don't have much to say about segments.
What?
I don't really have a whole lot to say about the segments.
So
you might have more to say.
Part of it was because I was laughing. But MJF said a lot. So throughout tonight's show, two of the many times that we saw Renee Young was we had both a sit-down interview with first MJF and then Adam Cole. The MJF one is funny. He talked about with all those people inside Wembley, he's like, that is going to be chubbed up. Tights are going to be real tight with all those people chanting my name. I was like, wow. He even said he'd buy everyone around, and Renee was like, really? He was like, no, that Mark Tony Khan's gonna pay for it. Of course, they'd have a line about how his best friend, that lovable schmuck, was able to convince him to wrestle twice in one night. But they talk about pressure, and actually this one that part felt kind of nice. When they were talking about the pressure of being the main event of a match like this, and he kind of went very, very humble MJF, and not like his heel version of being humble where he kind of made it funny. It kind of felt serious and real.
Because he's so good.
I mean, he paid respect at that point. He was like, I'm only able to get here because of all the people that paved the road before me. I'm standing on the shoulder of giants, and if I win this match, I could become a giant.
Yep. That boy is so good. Hercules. Hercules. That boy is good.
In both these segments, Renee plays a video recap. MJF, he shows just the whole journey, like how they went from foes with that original match to became friends. And MJF is just like, hey, they're brothers, and brothers fight, but at the end of the day, they hug it out.
Hmm.
That's a little bit foreshadowing for the end of the show, too.
It sure is.
But
but yeah, they're definitely going. I like how this feud is so good. Well, this broship slash feud is so good because how they're doing this. Because it started off with, yeah, you're a douchebag, don't like you. All right, now we're homies. Now we're kind of seeing the splinters happen, and I don't know, it's perfect. It's peaking at the right time.
so my favorite part about all the segments was probably when Adam Cole was doing his sit down, and Renee plays back the video, and it starts off by showing, like, at first Adam Cole was trying to play MJF, and then they show some of the parts where it looks like he's about to turn on MJF, and every time they show Adam Cole doing something dastardly, he looks away in shame. He can't look at the screen. Just little things like that. And then somehow there's still one more with Roddy, in which Roddy... What's that?
I was going to say that could be possibly telling of what's going to happen in the future, but I don't know. We'll see. Still not sure.
And then, just to kind of cap it all off, later, Renee's with Roddy in the Kingdom, and the main point of that was, at the end of that night, at All In, we're gonna know who the real MJF is, and who the real Adam Cole is. Which, if Roddy knows something, it's gonna be on the Adam Cole side, so he would know you'd get to see the real Adam Cole. But either way, you're gonna learn something about Max, so it's true. In the words of Paul Heyman, that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler.
He might be spoiling some stuff for us. Cause like I said, I'm kind of thinking that there might be some kind of like double turn or something. It's gonna be something crazy. Gonna be crazy.
Now, what's crazy is when we get to tonight's main event of the Hardys versus Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, you go, oh, it's going on last. Gotta be a title change.
Yeah, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. MJF and Adam Cole are going to have some words with them at the very least, and that's why this ends the show.
Because all their segments had been recorded ones. They did not ever come out to the ring. And of course, building up to not one, but two big pay-per-views, you give the big pops to the crowds. You do it.
Yep. Sure do.
Now, the match itself, you pointed this out. Yeah, you pointed out to me, Hardy Boys got a complete commercial entrance.
Yeah. Because when Aussie Open was coming out, I was like, oh, Justin Roberts just said, and their opponents. And I didn't hear the Hardys music.
One note that I took on this match, because I had noticed it throughout like so many other matches, we got a proper poetry emotion this match. As opposed to just like the corner singer splash off of Matt's back, he did like the leg lariat, and I was so happy. It was right after he did a splash too, so I was disappointed and then so happy.
Yeah, this I think the Hardys are best in matches like this, where you give them a little less than 10 minutes, so there's, they can move at a little bit faster pace because they don't have to be out there as long.
And then having good opponents like the Aussie Open makes it capable of doing a lot more when your team that you're facing is capable of a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of love that they're putting over everybody right now. Like, yeah, we're letting everybody get these wins on us, but eventually, I think they're gonna be like, don't forget who we are, though.
And hopefully, around that time, all their people that they associate themselves with right now really just Isaiah and Ethan, like, get them involved again, maybe. Did you catch the name of the double team tag team move that they won with? Like something about an arrow or something, I thought I heard commentary say.
I didn't catch it. I know I've seen it a few times now, and I never remember what it is. I'm gonna have to make a point to try and remember what it is this weekend.
I just know it was like a fireman carry, like toss off into an assisted cutter for the win. That's the best way that
that's what it was.
It.
That's pretty accurate. It looks great. It's a good finish. Really good finish move.
Yeah. Aussie Open so good.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Surprising after the match, because I haven't seen Aussie Open talk a whole lot, but they grabbed the mics after. I completely forgot what Mark Davis said besides oi 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 to taunt the crowd and say shut the hell up, Atlanta.
Yep, that was pretty much it. I think that actually was it, and then he just holds out the mic for Fletcher, who says a little bit more.
So it's funny, when he said that, all he could do was think of like WCW in the late 90s, because Mark Davis feels like a Scott Norton type of like old school wrestler. And they were always in Atlanta. They were based out of Atlanta. So I was like, I'm watching WCW for a second here.
I wouldn't have even thought about it like that, but yeah. Yeah, that would be great. Except for Marcus. Better.
I'm just like thinking like the build and the like general kind of look, because he has like the big bushy mustache and stuff. But this part is kind of another point in which I got to start cracking up, because, and I know you were, we had the reaction. Fletcher says there will be no double clothesline. There's gonna be no kangaroo kick. I'm like, God damn it, we're getting both of them, aren't we?
You gotta get a double clothesline and a kangaroo kick. You're at the very least, we're getting a double clothesline.
I want to see MJF attempt a kangaroo kick.
He's going to attempt it again. Definitely. You gotta try it. But I think I think that'll be the thing that messes something up for them. I don't know. I still have no idea how that's gonna happen, but
the gifts are gonna come out of MJF going for a kangaroo kick and then get like his head knocked off with a lariat or something.
Yeah, something's gonna happen. Roddy's gonna take off his neck brace finally.
For the love of God, he better have the pay-per-view.
I was half thinking he was about to come out in a wheelchair after stubbing his toe.
But yeah, Fletcher just basically says there's still going to be the Champions Bay, and that's when, the music and the major pop for MJF and Adam Cole hits, because they come down, kind of pause on the ramp together before they go down to the ring, and they start to do a fight.
Yeah, that nice hockey fight.
It's actually Aussie Open that went for a double clothesline, but then the faces counter. Davis is able to avoid it. Then MJF wanted to do the kangaroo kick.
He winded it up for too long. See, he was getting it ready. He was getting it ready, and then Fletcher was like, "I know what's happening. I'm from Australia. You can't kangaroo kick me."
So it's funny. Recently, on like line on like a video or something, I saw someone hopping, or maybe TV, like hopping around like a bunny, and I kept thinking in my head, "Kangaroo kick, kangaroo kick."
Kangaroo kick.
But then things get interesting because MJF holds Kyle Fletcher. He's able to get out of it and avoid the super kick, but MJF was able to catch Adam Cole's foot, and they have like that whole stare down. Splinters.
That was the splinters. Man. The splinters. The glass is cracking. The foundation is cracking. It's all.
Can't say that about a pillar, man. You can't say a foundation's cracking about a pillar.
Oh, I don't care. The cookie is crumbling. However you want to say it.
MJF ends up grabbing his title, doing the whole thing where he holds it up in Adam Cole's face. Cole holds out his hand to shake his hand. MJF does the shoulder bump, walks past him, stops at the ropes, grabs his ring. Adam Cole still back turned towards him. It wasn't quite the same as when he was waiting for MJF to turn on him. He was like, "Come on, do it," but he kept his back to him.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't expect anything there, but yeah, MJF put that Dynamite diamond ring on. And he's getting back in the ring, and then he was like, I'm going to listen to the crowd again.
And just like they said earlier in the night in their promos, they hugged it out.
Hug it out, hug it out, hug it out, hug it out. No. But Cole definitely was not super excited afterwards. As you could see on his face, he kind of had that look like, this guy's gonna try and fuck me.
Cole has seemed like a guy who's reserved to the fact like this is going to end badly.
Or yeah,
MJF seemed like, pissed
tonight. Yeah, that might be more the look that Cole had. He was like, I don't want to have to do what's coming.
That's actually going to
swerve the shit out of me, y'all. Do it.
That first promo after All In by either one of them is going to be something I look forward to now when the match hasn't even happened yet.
The match is going to be dope. As long as there's minimal interference.
Minimal.
You gotta have some.
I'm like, if you're going where the kingdom's getting involved, there's going to be some. Yeah. But hopefully, like you said, it's minimum. Like, maybe it's just what turns the tides at the very end kind of thing.
Right. Like I said, Roddy's going to take off that neck brace. And he's going to come in there and do one of his neck breaker things.
He's going to confront Adam Cole, and then he's going to kick MJF in the dick.
With his messed up toe from kicking the tire. And he's going to need a wheelchair.
What if he falls down right after? He's like, Haven, get the wheelchair, get the wheelchair. Roddy's new gimmick is every time he tries to get physical, he breaks something.
I know. That's what I want. I really want him to do that. It'll be hilarious. Where do we go next?
I know you really like the match, and there's a lot of stuff that happened after. So, would you like to talk about Moxley versus Phoenix?
Yeah, I sure would.
I know the Stadium Stampede members of that match were banned from ringside. Alex wasn't. He's a manager, not in the match. You said you really liked this match, that you were surprised by another month topping it. For me, I did not take a whole lot of notes because it did feel like it's good. It was good because like Phoenix is always good. It felt like their average stuff, but Phoenix is always good.
Yeah, that may be a good part of it, that Ray Phoenix is not gonna disappoint ever. But there was a few spots in here I liked, and a lot of it had to do with Ray's selling.
Especially
Did
at
love
the
Ray's
end.
gear. Yeah, like that nasty looking stomp outside the ring. And Ray, yeah, the way Ray sold that, I was like, oh, ugh. And then his mask was all ripped in that area afterwards. Like you did so well with it, and you came out with that new gear and ripped the mask.
And haven't you ever seen some of the other luchador collections? They have about 100 million of them. They're getting a new one made like every month. He'll be all right.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. He'll be all right.
I want somebody to ask Rey Mysterio how many masks he's on now. But another major spot when I have no idea what Ray was gonna hit off the top rope when he did like the underhook. I'm guessing like a tiger power bomb or tiger bomb or something. But when that got countered into an avalanche Death Rider, my neck did not feel so good.
Yeah, the Avalanche Death Riders always get me too. Got me. I love the spot that led into that with the rolling cutter. Like Ray's about to going into a rolling cutter. Mox counters it into a sleeper. Ray rolls out of that sleeper, stomps his chest. Man. So then he goes for the ropes. Yeah.
I remember that counter and I remember liking it. Still kept telling myself, I was like, please don't let Mox do a rolling cutter this match. Please don't let Mox do a rolling cutter this match. But I remember that counter. And this was a thought that I had recently on matches. When he's being choked out and he rolls back into it, he's in that pin position where we see people steal pins and wins that way, right? We've seen it a number of times. I found it kind of weird. I'm like, if you're a wrestler, I'm like, when did we get away from trying to win it that way to always having those roll throughs to hit a stomp?
I feel like some people do, but it isn't as common anymore. Some people will just hold it.
Yeah, there's a match that we saw recently that actually finished that way.
I'm trying to think. There was one that finished recently. Yeah. But yeah, it's not as common anymore. Definitely not.
Wait, is that how Punk pinned Joe? In the Owen?
I think so.
Because remember, Joe is like, that's not a good enough end.
Yeah, that's how Punk pinned Joe. There we go.
So, in the end, I saw Mox's singles record on his entrance bar, and it was like 79-8, or it was like 73-9-1 or something ridiculous. So, in a singles match, a lot of people are not winning that, and I don't think there was a question on tonight either, was there?
No, not at all. They had me a couple times when Ray got a flurry. I was like, oh man, they're gonna let him beat Mox today. Nope.
Now it is worth noting, he kicked out of that Avalanche Death Rider. He just got choked out immediately after.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't go out like no bitch. He went to sleep. He just went out like a baby.
So earlier today, I heard reports, Wrestle Talk, about possible issues with somebody traveling overseas, but also we still need to figure out the rest of the BCC's team, right? So there was going to be some kind of angle after this match.
Right. Absolutely. And the BCC doesn't just, they can't just win a match. You know, they have to beat the shit out of you.
Now they've resorted to crowbars.
Yeah. Crowbars are fun.
So
Claudio and Yuta came out with their crowbars. And it's just for Ray Phoenix.
and then they end up smacking him. He's injured, and we come back to it later, but get Penta and Eddie come out originally, but Ortiz like is on the ramp to block him.
He's like, what are you guys doing? Well, mainly like, fuck you, Eddie. Because Eddie's been, him and Eddie have been going at it for a while.
Get his favorite toy back, which was what? I think it's a baseball bat and a sock. Or not bat, but like a baseball or a softball.
Oh, that's what he had. Okay. That's some real ghetto shit. Okay.
You should see what they used to be before AEW. But in the end, he's just kind of doing a little standoff with kind of setting up a moment. And what was that moment, Range?
For the best friends in Orange Cassidy to come out.
There was somebody that came out before that.
I thought or Santana came out after them.
No, because he came out behind Eddie and Penta. When Eddie was, or Ortiz was in front of him, then they attacked. Because when Best Friends and them came out, that's when the BCC left.
Yeah, it was after. Yep. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, Santana's back. Santana's back.
Aligning
Ortiz
himself
back
with the people that in storyline injured him over a year ago.
Yeah. And him and Ortiz have reportedly had beef, you know, behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, there was even a point before he got injured that people were speculating that he was putting out a number, and people were speculating that's how many days he had left on his contract.
Well, hey, he's ready to wrestle it all in for Stadium Stampede.
It's a hell of a way to return.
Yeah, that is a dope way to return. Your last match was a blood and guts, and then your next match is at All In.
Stadium Stampede.
Damn.
It'll be exciting, and you know, assuming that they'll be a team and be good together for a while, hopefully they'll finally get the run that everybody wanted them to have in the first place. But Inner Circle back then, just like you're hearing in the Jericho stories now, was basically all about Jericho and what fights he picked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you hear when Eddie told Renee to get the fuck out of his face?
Oh, I did not catch what he said exactly. I do know when they came back from commercial, and they were putting Phoenix in the hospital, in the ambulance to take to the hospital, which the rumor was he has visa issues, can't make it. I know he was like laughing when Renee came up to him, like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, he was like, "Your husband did this to my friend, and you want this interview?" He's like, he doesn't have the microphone in his face, but you can hear him definitely over the microphone. Get the fuck out of my face.
He tells her he's gonna finish it at All In.
I'm like, all right, Eddie, you're about to not be on TV again. Okay, quit doing, don't do that.
I mean, there's been other people that I've heard say the F word not into a microphone that's been caught that haven't been punished. Mox.
Yeah.
Oh, Mox has been caught multiple times. I've heard it from Mox, and he, every time something goes down, hey, Mox, World Championship?
Hey, because he's Mox. He's the guy.
He can say whatever he fucking wants.
But all I know is that he's been off TV for a while. And I don't need him doing nothing to get himself back off TV.
Well, remember, he was over in Japan.
Yeah, for the G1.
That goes for like a month or some shit.
But yeah, he was off TV for more than that.
I'm trying to remember because he was supposed to originally be Claudio's opponent, and he's the one that got replaced with Pac, right? No, Pac was supposed to be, then he got replaced. I don't fucking remember. I just know he fought Claudio a bit ago for the Ring of Honor title, but not on AEW TV.
Right. That's what I say. He's been off AEW TV for a while. He's been on Ring of Honor stuff. But
I don't got
AEW
access
TV,
to it.
Yeah. Not paying that much for it. Sorry, not sorry.
Maybe if they eventually get to the route where it's like the WWE Network, where we're not paying for AEW pay-per-views at that price point, then we'll talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then we can.
Like Ring of Honor TV is like $9.99 a month, but you get the AEW pay-per-views for only additional $20. For the wrestling content, I might do it.
Yeah, but yeah, they got to do something with it. Because $10 a month.
Guess what? Ruby Soho beat Sky Blue again.
Yeah, she did.
There's your recap.
It's oh yeah, she did. Sky Blue. Like I said, you guys got to give her some kind of win
On AEW TV, going back to Ring of Honor or something does not count.
Yeah, because if they have them in a match on Ring of Honor TV and she wins, I'm not going to be satisfied with that. Because at this point, it's
would you have even seen it?
No, exactly. I wouldn't have seen it. Nobody would know that it ever happened. Because at this point, it's like one of those when they try to say, like, because they're in state, that there's a rivalry, like when Michigan State and Eastern Michigan go against each other or something, and and they're like, it's an in-state rivalry, and we're like, no, it's not. It's not. Like, that's how I feel about Sky Blue and the Outcasts.
It's not. So many matches.
It's time for Sky Blue to get a win against the Outcasts, and not in a tag match.
No.
And I keep
just get her away from the Outcasts entirely.
Preferable.
Because I'm like, to get a win against one in solos, that means we have to see another match.
Good point. Okay. All right. I accept that. Get her out of there. All the way.
So, next we'll talk about something that isn't going to be possibly as enjoyable. But that's because I left the best thing for last. The thing that had us dying during the show. Sorry, just thinking about it. Oh, I'm not ready for talking about that.
I'm ready for me money.
Tonight, we had another successful contract signing in the world of wrestling that did not result in somebody going through a table.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
Bro. No table spots here, bro.
None of that, bro. Just a good old contract signing, bro.
And 6 security guards, bro.
6 security guards that you did point out were not standing in any kind of position that would allow them to stop something from happening.
They're all standing behind the table along the ropes, and you got like Jericho and Ospreay walking in front of the table, like with nobody in between them. Like, yeah, you guys aren't gonna prevent squat. Somehow they did, which is a surprise.
They helped. I mean, well, it took a long time. So and they were all young, and Jericho's like 700.
They have to respect their elders. But before they ever have this, they show a video of Renee talking to Sammy about him helping Jericho and Jericho Appreciation Society. Well, the former members of it ask why Jericho will never be there for you. Only notable because after Ospreay and Don Callis comes out, Jericho comes out and Sammy is with him.
Sammy has his back. And the former JAS is probably about to kick Sammy out too.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're all going to even line up. It's just the fact that, thankfully, the 3 that we did see tonight, which was Garcia, Daddy, and Cool Hand, they were the ones that were together before JAS. So at least that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, they're already boys.
Remember, they called him their son for the longest time.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Danny Garcia is their son.
Honestly, Don just really says, everyone's asking why he did what he did, and he said because what's better than having Chris Jericho join you is be the one that end Chris Jericho's career, and that's why he got Will Ospreay.
Yeah, he got Will Ospreay. Will came out fiery. He was fired up.
He could not stand still.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen him wrestle? I don't think he could be still.
I've seen that bro wrestle. I've seen that bro wrestle a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you've seen him wrestle, bro. But he talks about his contract ending with New Japan, bro. I thought that was interesting that he actually mentioned that his contract was going to be up soon with New Japan.
Because he said, bro, who else could say that they beat Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and Okada within the span of 2 months, bro? So he was going to get paid when that contract ends.
He is going to get paid, bruv. Paid.
You know what? You want to know what actually might be my favorite line of the whole show? Will Ospreay asking Chris Jericho if he takes All In serious or if it's just a vanity project to get his band to play in front of 80,000 people at Wembley.
It's a very good question. Probably the answer is yes.
It's crazy the amount of memes that are going around, and it's usually the Damian Priest eye roll picture, like Fozzy is gonna play at Wembley Stadium. Oh god.
Oh man. Yeah, I would not be down.
It's one of the few meta lines tonight we got from tonight's show.
Yeah, we got quite a few. I mean, well, we had a lot of talk today, so.
And we did. Jericho says he takes it serious because he knows he's at the top. He's on his way down. Everyone's gunning for him. He always has to be the best Chris Jericho. And he says, Will Ospreay has to be the best Will Ospreay to beat him. I'm like, no. Ospreay has to be like average Ospreay. You have to be your best Chris Jericho.
Yeah, he has to be the best of the best Chris Jericho. But dog, my favorite thing from this was Jericho's little bitch slap. Ospreay. Like, I didn't even note anything Jericho said, just that with the
Because they eventually get in each other's face, and there's that smack, and then the security gets in the way. And it's just like the pull apart stuff after that. I don't even know if they touched each other again after that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, just Jericho got the only swing, and he did that like movie. How could you slap?
He might as well pulled out a white glove and challenged him to a duel.
That was pretty much it. Yeah.
The only thing outside of that I really actually took note of, Jericho actually tried to take credit, very Don Callis type move, for Will Ospreay's success, because he said 5 years ago I called you and said slow down or else you're going to end up in a wheelchair by 30 like your idol, the Dynamite Kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's Jericho taking credit for stuff again.
You want to know what really scares me about this match? Anything that Chris Jericho's in with somebody more athletic has such a chance to be a letdown. Like, there's a solid chance of this match being a letdown because of Jericho limitations.
It's possible. I don't think it's going to be like spectacular or anything, but I think it's probably going to be the best Jericho match that we've seen in forever.
Hope so. It's just now with Ospreay, the bar is like set up here.
Yeah.
And you know, with Jericho, like the most that you can get is like maybe down here.
Mm-hmm. That's why my bar isn't set very high. But I think that Ospreay is going to work the shit out of Jericho, and it's going to be a good match.
I hope so, because this isn't like Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy, where nobody thought Orange Cassidy could keep up. That was a matter of athleticism and storytelling. He could do it all with Ospreay. Jericho isn't going to be able to go the same route.
No. He's I mean, he's obvious, you know, he's older, so he's kind of lost a step, but
or two or three.
But yeah, Jericho was better than almost everybody, so Jericho losing a step still looks pretty good.
I'm hoping that it can be a solid 4-star matchup. I'm hoping.
I've got my fingers crossed for that.
I know Jericho.
I think that's about where I'm hoping it might be. You know, it's not going to be a classic or anything like Jericho's trying to make it sound like it should be.
And that's the thing, is we know Jericho has all the career experience. He should be able to tell a story. Most of his great storytelling is usually throughout promos and builds to matches, like The List and Festival of Friendship and all that other stuff. He does have great matches to his name throughout history. Hoping he can pull one more out of the hat. For Wembley. Do it for Wembley.
Yes, do it for the largest crowd you've ever been in front of.
Do it for all the bros. How many times do you think Ospreay said it in this promo?
I don't know, bro, but he said bro a lot of times, bro.
So if you made it to the end of this video, now you understand why, if you didn't see the show, why we said it a million times.
Bro.
We don't get to see this too often anymore. And I haven't requested it of you in a long time. I'll wait a second and let you have this water. So, I haven't watched many Rampages lately, and I have not heard this phrase in a long time. But considering what the last segment for us to talk about, match/segment, all that stuff, how good it was, how much we enjoyed it, could you please, sir, give me a Mark Henry impersonation?
It's time for the main event.
Swerve Strickland AR Fox versus Nick Wayne. Hold on. Nick fucking Wayne and Darby Allin. You know what? I'm not big on Darby, but oh my god, this match was so good.
Yeah, yeah, this was an incredible match, though. We started off on fire. That spider German off in the corner, but well, AR Fox, dog.
He folded Nick Wayne in half. That was nasty.
That was gross.
First note I have, and I mean, you're right, this match all the way, like, it kind of felt like it was going to be good because it was good right from the beginning. So you're getting to the end, you think you're at the end, you're like, all right, makes sense to end it here. It's been a really good match. And it would not end. There's so much.
I liked when it went out into the crowd and picture in picture, and Swerve grabs somebody's phone and he's making selfie videos. Then he hands the phone to Prince Nana and he's doing whatever he does.
Or even when they first got outside the ring, AR Fox pulled off his hoodie and he's still wearing, or I shouldn't say still, but he's once again wearing the bloody tank top from when they busted up Nick Wayne at his house. And he takes that off too and throws it at Nick Wayne's mom at ringside. We're gonna come back to so much Nick Wayne and Nick Wayne's family.
He's like, here's your son. Here's your son's blood. Enjoy it.
Every time they focus on her, obviously it's when he's getting the crap kicked out of him, and she's always like, please, please stop it. Like, if your husband was a wrestler and your son's a wrestler, you shouldn't be begging for his life, basically. You should just know it comes with the territory.
Yeah. You should. Dog. I don't even know what to talk about in this match. Like, everybody in this match did something crazy. Darby just diving everywhere.
Mm-hmm. They back to back
dove into Swerve into the announce table. That was for two smaller guys. That was a nice impact there.
It was like two missiles, two rockets. One got hit really hard and the other one went flying. You talk about diving all over early in the match. Nick Wayne, while they're all battling on the outside, does a run along the apron, does a double Wayne's World to Swerve and AR Fox on the floor, and then Darby's on the other turnbuckle and does a coffin drop on both of them outside. Dude's going crazy, bro.
Yeah, this was nuts. The only person that wasn't diving was Swerve, but I mean, he's put on weight, so he's not planning on doing any diving.
Yeah, when he first started bulking up, I'm like, yeah, come on, please tell us you're getting ready for a nice big run. We're still waiting for that first championship, though.
We're waiting on it. It's coming. It better be. I think it will be. Shit. That neck breaker ish thing.
The power bomb.
The double team. Yeah, that power bomb neck breaker that Swerve and AR Fox hit on Nick Wayne.
I just nodded my head so much to that move, my desk shook and the camera shook.
Yeah, I'm like, what was that? But holy shit.
Nick Wayne inside the ring, he went to do a jump off the turnbuckle to do a Wayne's World to AR Fox, but like Swerve ran underneath him, caught him, powerbombed him. AR Fox was able to catch a neck breaker on it too. That looked nasty as fuck as well.
Yeah, man.
And you'll hear from
my
us.
Next note is this match kicks ass.
And the thing, like that last spot with it having a power bomb it, you'll hear it from us. Like if it's a weak looking power bomb, we'll call out a weak looking power bomb because we've talked about it. A good looking power bomb, still money.
Oh yeah, yeah. If your power bomb looks good, you can still finish with that.
There's just not that many that look that great.
Right. So nobody's doing power bombs anymore.
To catch this Blue Thunder Bomb is beautiful.
It looks great. It's the best 2 count spot out there. It's so great.
Where your match, your next note for this match is this match kicks ass. My next note for this match is Nick Wayne is kicking out of everything.
He kicked out of so much. That series of brain busters, they are like he did the twisting brain buster and then the package brain buster.
Twisting as well. Like, both of them look so damn good.
Yeah.
I thought it was over on both those spots.
Yeah, he kicks out of those. Then Swerve hits that kick to the back of the head. He kicks out of that one.
Swerve is freaking out at this point because he does a really good like reaction to like what the fuck, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's when it all goes downhill. Fox misses a 450.
Swerve is just taunting at this time, assuming this match is over.
Yeah. Because he's like, come on, he's got this.
All right. You know, I will have to give credit for it because after he misses the 450, we have seen some innovative pins that I had never seen before AEW, right? Like both Wheeler and Orange Cassidy have one that I had never seen before AEW. However, Nick Wayne pinned AR Fox after that missed 450 and then the bridge was something I had not seen.
It was a pin. that's all I know, is that it was some kind of pin.
Now I love it because Swerve is like grasping for straws, but Darby is like holding his foot just as it happens.
Yeah, Darby's got just a strong enough hold on his ankle to stop him from getting there. And Nick Wayne and Darby get that win. Nick Wayne getting that pin on Dynamite.
Now, make no mistake, he definitely pinned AR Fox.
Yeah.
Which is a big point after the match.
Yeah. Yes. You can't have Swerve take another pin at any time soon.
And Swerve was kind of harsh after the match.
Hey, he ain't cutting it. He ain't cutting it. Swerve's got that maniacal laugh going.
Exact word I used in my notes.
Yeah, because he has a good thing going where his hair covers his eyes when he's doing it, so all you can kind of see is the smile coming out from underneath his hair, and then you just hear him laughing. You're like, ah, shit.
Just basically says this has been disappointing, and then he says he means you, Fox. Blows opportunity after opportunity. Why is he such a loser?
He beaten 18-year-old.
It was a test for him. Says he can't trust him, and then he tells Nana to take care of his light work. And I was like, is Nana about to get physical?
I was hoping so.
I didn't know what to expect. But he did his best Vince McMahon impersonation, though. He tells AR Fox, "You're fired."
You're fired.
Yeah, I have to put way too much effort in to get that raspy voice, like
You're
yell.
Fired.
But
yeah, he's out.
Immediately laid out by Brian Cage, and this is where it got kind of weird. As they were leaving, you know, Sting, Darby, and Nick all come back down to stop it. Darby helps out Fox, gives him a hug, and he says, if he's not an AR Fox, then who do you got then? I thought this was so weird because it was so dismissive of Brian Cage standing right next to Swerve. Like, who do you got?
Yeah.
That guy?
Well, I mean, it was, but that whole time I was like, well, it's not Brian Cage, because come on.
It couldn't be.
You don't
It was just
replace
weird.
AR Fox with Brian Cage.
Yeah.
If that's who the replacement is, it's going to be after All In or something.
Yeah. We don't get any music, but slowly, like, they kind of part the sea, and we see Luchasaurus and Christian Cage coming out to the ring, like, to the ramp alongside of them, and you're already kind of like, if this was Spider Sense, it's tingling, you perk up, you're waiting for it.
Like, come on. Like like we've been calling for it. We knew he had to do it. There's a new person in AEW with a dead dad, and Christian going straight for it.
It's literally the last my notes on the segment says Christian and Luchasaurus come out, and he goes right after Dick Queen on the mic.
Yeah, like he basically just like lets them know that it's him. He's like, "Yeah, Darby, I'm here, but that kid over there, his dad's dead. I gotta address that right now. You know, I'm the dead dad guy."
He goes right in for it, and the whole time we're just dying. And then he starts talking about like, so you're second generation, but I've never heard of your dad, so you must have not been any good. And just going off, just basically offering, says, "You play your cards right, I'll be your mentor."
Yeah, he's like, and you know how I'm a great mentor for kids with dead dads.
Who better than the T and T champion,
No one.
who isn't the champion?
No, he's the TNT champion. He's the talking about dead dads champion.
But honestly, if you are watching this after, I need you to go back. If you know about Christian Cage's history of people with dead dads, go watch it. It was so bad. It was so on the nose. You're waiting for it. It's like the moment of when you get exactly what you want, and it's just pure joy.
Because it's as soon as Nick Wayne debuts and they got all the videos of him and you know how he's doing this for his dad and all this stuff, and you're like, I think at Nick Wayne's debut we mentioned it right away. We're like, oh, Christian's gonna have so much fun with this.
As soon as somebody with a dead father is mentioned, the memes of Christian Cage like peeking up from ringside are all over the place. I'm like, yes, it's happening. It's like happening.
It's me. I'm somewhat of a specialist on this topic.
I just really wanted him to say something directly to his mom, who was at ringside.
Yeah, I forgot he mentioned his mom, but he didn't speak to her directly.
Yeah, because remember like his first feud of somebody with it, like he went to the mom, he's like, "Call me." Jungle Boy.
Yep, it was Jungle Boy. It's like, you can call me.
Yeah, that middle of promo where he just like pushed the mic away and he was like,
oh man, Christian Cage. I love that guy so much. So, but yeah, so we get it confirmed that it'll be Christian and Swerve versus Darby and Sting.
which so go ahead.
In which I kinda think we might get a Sting and Darby loss finally.
So people have wondered, like, would this be a good way for Sting to retire?
Mm-hmm.
Like, big is like such a huge event, but in addition to that, why I went ooh as you were bringing that up, I forgot there's a really good harsh Christian line right at the end of all this where he says, "And that all in, for the second time you can watch the casting close on somebody that you looked up to."
Yep. Oh, forgot about that line. That line was the perfect line to end it.
He has had so many lines that you're like, I can't believe they let that line happen on TV.
Because he's such a piece of shit. It's great. He's like the perfect piece of shit.
And this is why I don't want Edge to come right away, because you can't ruin what Christian Cage has going on right now. It's so damn good.
Yeah. But yeah, so it'll happen one of two ways here. Either Sting and Darby are going to win, or Swerve and Christian are going to win, and then
that's usually how matches work out.
Belt. Well, no. So, Bo, it's going to determine the outcome of All Out. I feel like. I think.
If Christian wins the coffin match, he's gonna lose the title, or
Yeah.
Luchasaurus loses the title.
Yeah.
But still, Christian Cage loses the title, even though he's not in the match.
Yeah. And he's going to do something crazy about a rematch because he didn't even lose for the belt that he never had.
He's getting into that Chris Jericho territory of like, who does that?
I don't know. I love it. It's so great. It's so entertaining.
I'm like, for whatever reason, like they have like these hypocrite like where it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense, and it's just hilarious.
We knew that. We kind of knew that the TNT title needed something like this because that belt sucks. And it's allowed them to kind of give Orange Cassidy a little bit of a break where he's not wrestling 20-minute matches every week.
Now, see, my original thought was Christian Cage could be good for it, and then I thought you can rebound Ricky and give him, a title that's hopefully kind of elevated after Christian has it, blah blah blah. But obviously that's not happening because Ricky's also a heel-ish.
Mm-hmm. And he's
Suspended.
suspended right now until after the pay-per-views.
So now it'll have to be a new babyface.
Yeah.
Nick Wayne, next TNT champion.
We got a while before we see anything like that.
I'm just
Maybe
trying
a
to,
Ring of Honor belt.
because don't put the title back on Darby. He's had it a few times, and I'm just trying to think of how you can go from one heel to Swerve. Unless they go back to Swerve versus Orange Cassidy.
They could. But I don't know. I still think there's more to do with that story there still because there's going to be an Orange Cassidy Moxley match.
You know what I'm just saying? I'm basically going with Swerve needs to get a title in soon.
But yeah, I 100% feel that.
Because the thing is, if it's either Orange Cassidy or you have to have somebody bridge between Christian and Swerve. That's all. I don't feel like they've done enough, and kind of like the way he's been weighted down by his group around him, I don't think he can go to the world. I don't think I could realistically go like, oh yeah, he's gonna win and become champion. Not right now.
Yeah, I mean he feels like it for me, but yeah, he's got to get some more wins on more credible people. Because he's only beaten Darby once. And Darby's not in the world title scene.
It's just basically, yeah, he's right in there. Like, he doesn't get enough wins. His faction storyline has been mid at best because we've already seen like 3 different evolutions of it now.
Yeah, he had 3 weeks of AR Fox.
Things just aren't firing on all cylinders for Swerve, and I'm just like, there's that little bit more that I would love to be able to see him like knock out in like the 6 months of like big wins, have its faction to actually have some heat, like not just Swerve but his whole faction.
And this Brian Cage, he's just a beef man. Like I like that he didn't come out in his tights today, because it's always so odd to me when he comes out in his tights, because it's like, all right, we got this basically rap group and then a bodybuilder, like standard bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm like, I can't. Usually whenever whoever is challenging for a world title, they're usually firing on all cylinders and have been because they have that story, right? There's just been those misfires along the way. I'm like, you treat Swerve well. Just there's like misfires along the way that I'm like, you got to get it right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the first time around, they were like, yeah, we're just going to throw you any two guys and we'll see what you can do with it. And it's like, well, these guys don't know how to wrestle at all or act or anything. Because the first iteration of the group was just a disaster.
Trench
this
and Parker
one,
Boudreaux.
Yeah, that was a disaster.
Brian Cage, as you just said, hasn't really been any better.
Yeah, he's oh no, he's definitely been better.
He's been better when he's been with Big Bill.
100% better now. Like it doesn't say a whole lot because the other two guys were that bad, but he's been definitely a better addition than them.
Like his best work has actually been outside of the faction with Big Bill.
Yeah, his best work has been with Big Bill. I like him and Big Bill as a tag team. I honestly think that you should just go ahead and have Big Bill join the Mobile Embassy instead of having Brian Cage leave the group. Because Big Bill seems like he would work.
You want to make a whole lot of sense for Swerve as a character too? If on most of his entrances, he's like sneaky and hiding behind Big Bill, since Big Bill's body can cover up all of Swerve. And he kind of comes out from the shadow or kind of be sneaky, like that hidden person.
Yeah. And he's already got the ski masky thing, or I forget what they call that. It's not.
Just imagine like Big Bill attacking somebody and all you see is Big Bill stand towering over somebody, and then you just see Swerve kind of like walk out from behind him and lift up his mask with his smile.
Yeah, he could do that. But yeah, I think that instead of, because they had teased it, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna not be with y'all because y'all don't really like Big Bill. I feel like they should just bring Big Bill in. And fuck it, bring Lee Moriarty in while you're at it too. Since I think they're maybe still affiliated, but Lee Moriarty's probably only on Ring of Honor TV.
Oh yeah. Because let's see, that whole group. The Guns are part of Bullet Club Gold now.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bill is with Brian Cage. Moriarty, you're probably right. His wrestling style makes sense as Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Like, he'll probably have a nice, pure championship career there.
Yeah. So, yeah, bring him on in there. And then you got
Stokely's down there.
Then, yeah. And Stokely is like EVP or something, or whatever, like a vice president, something.
What if you had a random appearance because
chairman,
of that?
I think. Yeah, he's a chairman, I think. That's what it was.
What if because all those connections, you randomly have a Stokely appearance, and we can have a segment where Stokely and Prince Nana are talking?
Bro. You got to do it for me. Got to do it for the culture. You got to do it. Oh,
I just imagine, I'm like, there would be so much potential for it to just be more hilarious than Christian wanting to be everybody's stepdads.
Dude.
Especially when he kicks his own daughter out of the arena.
Yeah. Well, you know, her dad's alive. Like, if he was a ghost, he would go after his daughter.
Like, that is his life lessons to his daughter all the time. Be like, other kids are less fortunate. You're lucky. You should be appreciative your dad's alive. And she's just like, but you're my dad and you paid no attention to me. Be appreciative. Other people don't
like,
have it.
Hey, I'm alive. I'm here. Kind of. I'm gonna get out of this arena.
That being said, we are coming up on midnight. We have hit every single thing on the show, I believe.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. If you made this far into this video, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Drop comments. Hang out with us. From the sounds of it, we will be attempting to do a live reaction stream. You will not see the pay-per-view. The live reaction stream all out to, come on, hang out with us on Sunday.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot more chill, but we'll be chatting and screaming.
When the whole wrestling world operates on British Standard Time.
Yeah. Hey, it's good for me.
Yeah.
Nice and early, get it out of the way.
So many pay-per-views I've left your house way later that's like, oh, pay-per-view ended. Basically, it's like bag up my stuff and go, because it was like, at the time, work Monday morning, and it's
like, all right, 12:45.
Now it's like,
so, yeah.
Would you like brunch with your pay-per-view?
Yeah, that's why I was like, this is all right, man.
They should do it more often, even if they're over in the United States. Just, say fuck the West Coast. East Coast, West Coast, woo.
Yeah.
It doesn't rhyme as well as the other one, but
it doesn't rhyme with me.
Unless you got anything else to say, I want to say everybody else have a wonderful night, and we will see you on Sunday.
Peace.